with Kerry Madsen. Has to reel in and run down Rusty Hickman or Glenn Sutherland, depending on how this start plays out. 10 laps on the board. This is heat race number 1. Time to get your race on, Warrnambool. Good start from Rusty. Look at Kerry Madsen, motor around the top to second. Walker to third. Track's wide, track's racy. Rusty on the bottom. Kerry to second. Luke Walker, Darren Molyneux. Back to Glenn Sutherland. And we've lost Reese Baxter, we go yellow. Amber lights come on for the 81. How racy is this track? Holy cow. As he's ready to launch. We're 1 down, 9 to run. Kerry Madsen, watch him go. The Cricky Motorsports Transport Equipment Hire Pumper Manufacturing 2-car. Luke Walker. Molyneux now reels in the 67. Everybody came back to the bottom that time as Robbie Payton goes by Matt Dumesny. That's deep in the field. Rusty, Kerry. Back to Luke Walker. Molly puts it right upstairs. Don't know if there was a lot up there for him. He comes back to the bottom in 1 and 2. So Rusty Hickman trying to outrun the reigning and triple national champion Kerry Madsen. Kerry cruising the top at the bottom. Still got a little worth in it as Rusty goes out of turn 2. Next time with 4 laps to run. Rusty with Kerry Madsen just starting to close. Here comes the WA2 of Kerry Madsen. Luke Walker third, 4th is Darren Molyneux. Glenn Sutherland, then it's Alex Orr. And Kerry is closing. 2 to run on the main straight. Rusty will need to be clean and good in these final 2 laps. Because Kerry has caught him. And he's just cruising as he's working the bottom. Traffic will not play a part in this one. As the white flag is out, there's 1 to run. Kerry throws caution to the wind. Tries to run the top in 1 and 2. Has he got the momentum? He's working the top as Rusty swings back to the bottom. Here comes Kerry. Oh boy, that was close. Rusty will take the win from Kerry Madsen. Third home will be Luke Walker from Darren Molyneux. Back to Glenn Sutherland, Alex Orr from Lisa Walker. The 81 of Robbie Payton from Reese Baxter. And Matt Dumesny in the 57 rounds out your field. A tribute to a champion. Lights are out. Heat 2, 10 laps on the board. Corey McCullough and David Murcott. Time to go racing here at SunGold Stadium. Heat 2 is green. Boy, Murcott got the start, but how good is McCullough in the 90? You could argue that Murcott was a little too good. Watching with interest as Brock Hallett is upstairs. Did not lose anything there on Jack. Just needs a little bit of run in turn 1 and 2. Brock working the top. Corey, Murcott from Anderson, Dukas. Brock comes back to the bottom. Felt like there was a little up there. Then Jack, back to Terry Rankin, Jake Smith, Christie, and Lee Mugovan. Brock Hallett puts it to Dukas. Just can't hold that top groove in 1 and 2. Corey from Murcott. Anderson from Dukas in 4. Hallett in 5th. He's working the top, comes back to the bottom. Then it's Jack. Back to Terry Rankin. From Jake Smith. That car control from the 90 is superb. You watch him roll through turn 3 and 4. Just squeeze the throttle up into turn 1. Murcott in hot pursuit. He's not getting away on him, but he doesn't need to. This time with 3 to run. McCullough from Murcott. Anderson third. Fourth is Dukas. Fifth is Brock Hallett. The Lilies Lane Quarries 25 of the General. Back to Jake Smith, Terry Rankin and Lee Muggerman. Christy Ellis in the 12 rounds out our field. White flag at the ready. Heat 2 winding down here at Sungold Stadium. Corey McCullough with half a straightaway over David Murcott. Straightaway then in third is Grant Anderson. But it's all Corey McCullough as you would expect from the pole. The V90 puts it in victory lane. Murcott home in second from Grant Anderson. Back to Peter Dukas from Brock Hallett. Jack Lee in the 25. And just to make sure he puts another lap in the books. And again, traffic not playing a factor in that one. How about a nice round of applause, Waterbull, for your Heat 2 winner in the V90, Corey McCullough.
Say goodbye to the Clinton Bolsh Isuzu Ute pace vehicle down the back straight. We're all set to go here. Heat race 3. 10 laps on our row motorcycle and mower scoreboard. And the green flag about to drop here. Queensland 83 of Stephen Lyons. Around the outside goes Tim Hutchins. Hutchins, your race leader. Veal, stout up around the top. If you don't mind, goes all the way upstairs. Does Veal. And Veal still persevering on that high line. Hutchins down on the low line. Veal goes around the outside down into turns 1 and 2. Veal on the outside. Hutchins ducks back. Does he? No, not quite. As they go past the grandstand. Veal looking really strong back in second. Up in front it's Hutchins. Hutchins coming under pressure. Veal around the outside. We then go back to Lyons, who's just dropped off this front row. We've got Sam Walsh back there in fourth. Up in front, Hutchins and Veal. Can't take your eye off it, can you? Veal switches back to the high line, just maybe loses a tad of ground there off turn 2. We then go back to Lyons now, who's back there in the Queensland 83, and he's catching Veal now. Veal might have an issue here in the 35 because he's just dropped a bit of ground here, and Lyons is on a mission out to try and chase him down. The New South Wales 4 of Johnson, he sits back in fourth. We then go back to Walsh, all the way back in fifth now. 5 laps remain here on our road motorcycle and mower scoreboard. Hutchins, your race leader, down the back straight. He's got a massive lead. The wing tucked all the way back there on Veal's Victoria 35 car, and he's coming back into the clutches of Lyons. So the Queensland 83 catching now as they head down the back straight. That's where the real battle is here. A big back gap now back to Johnson rather, back there in fourth. Further back we go to Walsh, and out behind them to Chad Eli. Up in front, your race leader, Hutchins. Massive leader with 2 laps remaining now as he goes across the start finish. Veal got that wing tucked right back on the 35, you can see it. Lyons back in third. Further back we go to Johnston, but up in front, Hutchins coming up on some lap traffic. He's got to negate some lap traffic up in front, including Clark and Caruana. As he circulates down the back straight, he's on his last circulation. And Tim Hutchins will take the checkers in heat race 3 of our sprint cars. Ahead of Jamie Veal in the Victoria 35. We then go back to the Queensland 83 of Stephen Lyons. The New South Wales 4 of Johnson, Walsh, Chad Eli, Caruso, Goodyear back there in 8th with Landrigan, Caruana and Clark. Fantastic drive from Tim Hutchins in the Tasmania 7, taking out heat race 3. He was strong out in front. Not quite sure Vealy was all over him there for a few laps at the start, and he just dropped off the pace a little, come back into the clutches of Lyons, but was good enough to finish 7th.
Very gentle to the line. And now we're ready to go. Boy, it's tight through the middle. Carson runs the top as McFadden is your leader. Marcus to second. Look at Macedo. Swings to the top, going after third, and will get it. Carson Macedo. Oh, might have banged the wall in turn number 2 as Johnny Vogels comes back. Oh! right in front of him. Marcus and McFadden get together and Macedo upends the 99. There was a clash of wheels between first and second. He was running the top and he had nowhere to go. How's the sportsmanship from Tim Van Ginnigan quickly in to assess and make sure that he's A-OK. So we are red. Man, what a heartbreak. He started from P6, he was up to third. And just a clash of wheels between first and second in turn number 3, and he had nowhere to go. Climbed the right rear of the 17 and upends the 99. McFadden picks up the pace. He just works through the bottom as everybody follows suit. Johnny Vogel's trying to work that outside groove. Everybody safely through despite a little skirmish further back in the field. Might have been Donegan and also Rowett. Robbie Trawatha able to pick up a couple of spots as Marcus again looks racy, trying to put it to McFadden. Vogel's watching on in third from Dennis Jones. Luke Sturton keeps that car very straight. And J-Mac way outside in turn number 2. Allowed Marcus, maybe momentarily, to put a bumper into the lead as they ran wheel to wheel. McFadden, Marcus, who looks very impressive in the 47, swings to the outside in 1 and 2. Can't get by, continues to pepper away. McFadden on the bottom. Marcus in the 47. Going after the race lead here in heat number 4. Still plenty of time remaining. May get his moment here as Max Dumesny drives right around the top of McFadden for the lead here in heat 4. Go you good thing. Johnny B. Wayne Rowett's climbing out of the 40 very quickly. Not too sure if there's a fire issue on that entry as we go yellow. Amber lights are on. Wayne Rowett quick to pull up in the SA40. And I've got a feeling there could have been a cockpit fire involved there somewhere. Wow, very, very lucky indeed. Marcus Dumesny with 4 to run. J-Mac, Johnny, Dennis Jones, Luke Sturton. J-Mac's trying to rim ride his way around the top of turn number 2. Gain some momentum if he can. Main straight with 3 to go, and Marcus not putting a foot wrong. Just been a superb performance as he disappears at a distance. Smooth as silk, this kid, as Dennis Jones drives by Johnny for 3rd. Decisive move here in heat 4. As Marcus blows by the Southwest Conveyancing Grandstand. This time to get the white flag. 1 lap remains here in heat 4. McFadden, Jones, Vogel, Sturton, that's your top 5. But this guy picks up the win. It's all Marcus Dumesny. McFadden home in 2nd from Dennis Jones, picks up some valuable points in 3rd. From Johnny Vogel's Luke Sturton back to David Donegan and Robbie Trawatha in the 92. Rounds out your finishes. Time to see what he's got. Heat race number 5, 10 laps on the board. Those faster qualified cars coming from the rear and we green. The General quickly to 2nd. We go yellow, yellow, yellow. Even I could see that was a little too early. Christie and Reese Baxter to do it all over again. That white chalk line on the exit to 4 is where we go racing. It's only cheating if you get caught. Time to do it all over again. Watch for the back markers in this one. Those higher qualified cars. Rusty Hickman, David Murcott, the 88, Darren Molyneux, the 52. Brock Hallett was lively in his earlier heat race. Luke Walker's been racing. Oh, Christie! Brock Hallett upends the 13 and will go red. Darren Molyneux's dislodged the front wing as well on the 52. Brock Hallett is upside down in the S813. And the 12 car, she had her hands full trying to catch it. She was trying to avoid that infield tyre barrier as well and rejoin. And we are red. Opening lap of heat race number 5. So Jack starts from P1 in the V25. Reese Baxter alongside from 2. Murcott and Orr. Then it's Christie and Luke Walker. Time to go racing here at the Bull. Heat race number 5. We're green. Good start from Jack. Yellow lights are on. Darren Molyneux is also gesturing something inside of that car as well. He's coming infield. Or is he? Set to resume. Let's do it all over again. There's the mechanical defect flag that he was looking for. So, we're down to 7. Heat race number 5. Boy, Murcott was up on the wheel as now Reese Baxter drives back by. Murcott putting it to him. Boy, good race for second. Jack Lee's your leader. Luke Walker from Alex Orr. That's 4th and 5th. Reese Baxter solid in second. We're 2 down and 8 to run. This is heat race number 5. Jack Lee, Reese Baxter. Boy, Reese has found some drive on the bottom. Really looks strong here. Murcott in 3rd, from Luke Walker in 4th. 5 now is Rusty. Starting to throw caution to the wind is Rusty Hickman. That 40 car. He's hooked up and moving forward. Alex Orr is next in line, followed by Christy Ellis. So the General works his way down the main straight. The V25 for Lillies Lane Quarries, Lee Contracting, is at the point. The 81 of Reese Baxter again looks strong. Starting to close the distance on your race leader. Murcott in 3rd. 4th is Walker. How good, Rusty. Bang in the wall as the 67 loses a spot to Rusty Hickman. The General works down into turn number 3. This time with 2 to run. Reese Baxter, strong showing at the office here in heat race number 5. Rusty, Luke Walker, Alex Orr next in line. White flag is out for Jack. Reese Baxter can be holding his head high here in heat 5. Good strong run to second, but it's all the General. Jack Lee takes the win. Baxter solid for second. 3rd home is Murcott from Rusty Hickman coming from the back to 4th. Good points haul for Rusty. Then it's Luke Walker back to Alex Orr, and Christy Ellis will round out our heat 5 field.
Robbie Payton to lead us away in the Victoria 81. Northern Territory 22 of Lee McGovern back there on his outside. Lisa Walker and Jake Smith on that second row. About to get serious in heat race number 6, and the green flag drops. And Robbie Payton wastes no time, goes to an early race lead. Terry Rankin up around the outside, can't quite get around the outside there. They head down, Terry Rankin still around the outside, and we've got McGovern round in turn 3 and 4, and that's going to bring on the yellows. Robbie Payton to do it all over again. Can he get a good start and get a bit clear? We're about to find out. We're about to go. Jake Smith on his outside this time. And Smith around the outside. Looks like he's going to get the job done off the start. Terry Rankin up around the outside into third. Once again, very strong Terry Rankin. But Jake Smith, wasn't he electric off that start? Got around the outside of Robbie Payton. And Smith is off and gone. We now see the 57 car of Matthew Dumesny. So Dumesny moves his way through up into third. Rankin back to fourth now. We then go back to Dukas. Problems for Dumesny off turn 2. And on by goes Terry Rankin and the Duke. Further back in our field now we go back to Madsen, who sits back in 6th for the moment in that West Australia 2 car. Up in front, Smith making every post a winner. 6 laps remain here for Jake Smith in the Victoria 72, leading the way over Robbie Payton. So Payton sits back in 2nd from Terry Rankin, who's coming out and trying to come after Payton. We then got Peter Dukas, the Duke, in the Giblin Family Homes Victoria 98. He's coming out after Terry Rankin. Dumesny's just dropped back. He's going to come into the clutches of Madsen. Further back in our field we go to Walker, Sutherland. We then go back to Anderson. Further back in our field with Corey McCullough. And Mugovan back at the tail of the field. Up in front, Jake Smith leads the way in the Victoria 72. Out in 2nd we got Payton. Payton going to come under increasing pressure. Terry Rankin closes down that gap now in the Victoria 22. Oh, and Rankin's gone in very hard into turn 4. That's going to bring the yellows on for sure. Gee whiz, Terry Rankin, really heavy contact there into the fence just off turn 4. Just had my eye off that just for a moment, but...
yeah, it looked like something let go on the car, and the car went straight across turn number 4 and into the fence there, and Terry, unfortunately in the 22 car, comes to a stop.
And he was strong. He was going out after those leaders. He was certainly in amongst it. He's probably the best chance out of the heavy hitters that are in here. He's just in that midfield position. The green flag goes up, and Jake Smith, off he goes in a hurry, and Jake Smith gets a big lead. Up around the outside, Kerry Madsen goes, works his way to third, fourth. Now he's up to 3rd. He's up and around the outside, going after Payton. Down into turns 1 and 2. Madsen just gets caught up, clips the wall, and that has brought him unstuck. So after he's going after it, white flag goes out this time for Smith. So Smith on his last circulation from Payton. Payton back in 2nd. Here comes the Duke. The Duke's out after Payton. Can he make a pass? No. Smith takes heat 6 from Payton. We then go back to Peter Dukas, Matt Dumesny, Glenn Sutherland, Kerry Madsen, Lisa Walker, Grant Anderson, Corey McCullough, Lee McGovern. We've got McGovern is in everything. He's in trouble there after the line, making contact with the wall there in the middle of turn 2. But
comes to the pole position, Tim Van Ginnigan, the V44. Bellows Auto Repair, Southwest Conveyancing, and Anderson Bobcat Service starts on the outside of the front row. Oh, they're bunched, they're keen, they're green. And he motors through to the leaders field, goes to the top, picks off Chad Eli. We stay green. Look at Veal, look at McFadden. Boy, Jamie's got Caruso right ahead of him. He'll come to the bottom. That was close. Marcus ahead of him. He's up to 5th. McFadden's to 3rd. Van Ginnigan's gone to the lead. Plenty happening here in Heat 7. Veal skirting around the top as TVG leads. How good is Veal motoring at the top? We go yellow, yellow, yellow. Chad Eli in the 72 brings on the cautions right where it was about to get interesting. This could get interesting. J-Max just giving him a little bit of space. And let's go back to green flag racing. Look at Veal trying to swing to the outside on Marcus. Will he stay up there? Yes, he does. Rim rides out of turn 4. He's got the 4th position. TVG, Andy. Marcus coming back at him. Veal is right upstairs as Caruana is ahead of him. Needs to clear the 96 as McFadden does now. Veal comes with him, 2nd and 3rd. Marcus trying to get by Andy. TVG is out in the 44 blast straight away. Veal and McFadden running nose to tail out of turn 2. J-Mac comes to the bottom as Veal slings the 35 out of turn 4. Thunders down into turn number 1 and 2. J-Mac giving him a little room. Side by side as Veal thunders to 2nd. J-Mac to 3rd. 4th is Caruana. 5th is Marcus Dumesny. But your leader is Tim Van Ginningen. What a heat race. J-Mac not done with yet, coming back at him. Veal running that very narrow cushion. Doing a stout job as the white flag is out. There's 1 to run for Tim Van Ginningen. How good was that audible? Checkers are out for TVG. Takes the win. Veal, what a drive for 2nd. McFadden for 3rd. 4th is Caruana, maybe Marcus. From Steve Caruso in the 10 will confirm that. Hutchins back to Chad Eli and Robbie Trawatha. Come on, Warrnambool, whack your hands together. How good was that heat race?
10 laps up on our road motorcycle and mower Honda scoreboard for this one. Dave Donegan inherits the pole. The green flag goes up. Darren Clark on his outside. We're about to go green here in heat race number 8. And Clark, we've got one around the outside there, the 72 car. We've got some issues though back in the field there. And Johnny V is tangled up in amongst that there. So Johnny V, and I think it's the West Australia 30 of Landrigan that's caught up in that issue.
That was big too. Hope Jamie's okay. He is moving inside of the WA 30.
And the green flag's up for another chance here, the heat race 8. See if we can go flag to flag here now. 10 laps. Green flag about to drop. And Donegan gets the better of that start. So Donegan does it well. Oh, Jock Goodyear up around the outside. He gets by on Jones. Works his way to 2nd. Jones fights back on the inside. Goodyear on the outside. Goodyear persevering on that high line. Will build up enough momentum shortly. He now gets tucked in behind Dennis Jones. Out in front, Donegan. Jones goes by on the inside of Donegan. Goodyear back in 3rd. Coming out after Donegan now. We then go back to the New South Wales 4 of Johnston. So Johnston back there in 4th from Johnny Vogels. He's back in about 5th for now. Goodyear up around the outside. Gets the job done around through turns 1 and 2. And Jock Goodyear's now going to come out and go after Dennis Jones once again here. So the Tasmania 22 on a real charge now. Johnny Vogels works his way through to about 4th. Up around the outside now though we've got Johnston. So Max Johnston works his way around the outside in the 4. Sam Walsh. So Johnny V gets caught up in the backwash there and he drifts back now to 6th. Up in front, Dennis Jones leads the way here. Goodyear back in 2nd in the Tasmania 22. Donegan. He's got Johnston out after him now in the 4 and he rounds him up quickly around the outside on turn 4. 4 laps remain for your race leader. Dennis Jones leads the way over Jock Goodyear in the Tasmania 22. They're swapping and changing back in the field. Here comes Stephen Lyons in the Queensland 83. He's worked his way up to 5th. He's going out after Sam Walsh and Max Johnston. 2 laps will remain for Dennis Jones. Goodyear trying to come back after Dennis Jones, remaining up on that high line. Dennis Jones on the low line. We then go back to Walsh, further back to Johnston. Stephen Lyons comes up behind Johnston. White flag will go out this time. Your race leader, Dennis Jones. Goodyear still maintaining his line up on the high line. But Dennis Jones is going to come down through turns 3 and 4, and Jones takes out heat race number 8 from Goodyear. Back in third will be Sam Walsh. Up for fourth, if you don't mind, Stephen Lyons doing his best work late from Johnny Vogels, who'll finish off in fifth from Johnston, Donegan, and Clark will be the tail ender in the Victoria 50. Put your hands together though for Dennis Jones. Great drive. Jock Goodyear persevered on that high line. Didn't pay off in that one, but certainly throwing everything at it.
Six cars only, Gary.
Go through to the big dance.
That they do. It's your last chance to make the big dance. Max Johnson in the 4. Look at them split. We saw in that top 8 shootout, Benny, where the top was so good. And will be interesting to see this in the B main, who makes a good fist of it. 15 laps, a little more than a heat race. And you need to be in the top 6. Matt Dumesny looks racy. He's up to 4. No doubt about the talent of that kid in the 22. Jock Goodyear was superb in his heat race. Tim Van Ginnigan's on his inside. They're both within a transfer. But Max Johnson has the skates on and he's out of there. Reece Baxter's trying to make his way into the top 6 as Jock got the wall, didn't he, in turn number 3.
Yeah, he certainly did make a bit of contact there, Goodyear, but Baxter now works his way into a transfer position. Up in front, your race leader Johnson, though, leading the way, doing a fantastic job out in front. Jake Smith, Dumesny back there with Orr. We then go back to TVG, who sits back in 5th, and on the bubble we have Reece Baxter in the VA81. He sits in a transfer for the moment. We then go back to Jock Goodyear now after tagging the wall. We've got one around over there in the back straight. It is keeps going, so we're all good to go. There's the 43 car there of Orr. So he was in a transfer, and he's throwing that away. Meanwhile, your race leader, Johnson, New South Wales 4, leads the way really well here over the Victoria 72 of Jake Smith. We then go back to Baxter. He's back there. Gap opening up back now to Goodyear. So Goodyear has got some work to do with 7 laps on the Rowe Motorcycle Mower Honda scoreboard. And Goodyear with some work to do if he wants to get into the big dance. The gap's widening. Up in front, race leader doing well. Smith just getting a little bit crossed up through turns 3 and 4 there. And he's getting a little bit shaky as he goes on. Dumesny, race leader Johnson, Smith, Dumesny, they're out of order there, they're out of sync, so Dumesny has moved his way, he's safe in a transfer, Van Ginnigan's in a transfer, and Baxter is where it finishes. So Baxter, he's still on the bubble for the moment. But Smith and Goodyear back there, so Smith's dropped White back now. He's coming back into the clutches of Jock Goodyear, back in the pack. TVG's got Reece Baxter coming out after him now in the VA81. So on the bubble, Jock Goodyear's actually on the bubble, so Jock Goodyear is in at the moment as he goes on by now on Jake Smith on the inside. So he's got some lap traffic up ahead, but he's a fair way back from Baxter. Jake Smith still up on that high line. Got the 43 car, which is trying to come back, but not quite making a good enough fist. Baxter comes up on the back of TVG. Dumesny's just up ahead. Getting interesting now as they get into the lap traffic. Dumesny gets through and negates the lap traffic well. He's doing very well, Dumesny. Got TVG, the checkers have dropped. We've got one that's gone over. Andy Caruana, I think it is, has gone over in the middle of turns 1 and 2, which will bring on the Reds.
As come on, Waterbull. I'd ask that you get up on your feet. Come on, everybody in the terrace. It's not even dark yet. We're about to send these guys off for the final time prior to Christmas. Come on, everybody on the back straightaway. How about getting up on your feet? Everybody up in that Southwest Conveyancing grandstand, please join me on your feet. Let's send these guys off. Come on, Mount Max. Want to say a big thanks to everybody for coming out and joining us tonight. 35 laps on the board for Max's race, presented by Jittix. Come on, Mount Max, let me hear some noise. Everybody up on the main straightaway, get some hands in the air. Let's make a little bit of noise. You know, there is no better sight in world motorsport than the full white salute to you, the fans. And you know it. The time for talk is finally finished. It's time to saddle up, Audible, because here we go for Max's race. Great start from Rusty. 35 laps on the board. It's a long one to go as we celebrate the career of a living legend, Max Dumesny, here at SunGold Stadium tonight. Rusty Hickman. This teenager from Bendigo is your early race leader as Stephen Lyons in second. How good Murcott to fourth on McFadden. Beale is third. As now Stephen Lyons looking to close on your race leader. Rusty cruising the top here at SunGold Stadium. He's deep in turn one. Lyons peppering away on the bottom. That Horrell Motorsport Queensland 83 preferring to run the bottom. Normally he's allergic to the low groove. Now he's making it work here at SunGold Stadium, puts it to Rusty. Expertly slides up in front of that 40 car to take the lead. Rusty now swings to the bottom. Lyons will lead. 5 down, 30 to run. Lyons from Hickman. Veal in third. Fourth is Murcott. Fifth is McFadden. Then it's Marcus Dumesny. Followed by Sam Walsh, Tim Hutchins, Corey McCullough, Johnny V. Pick up your race leader as Rusty Hickman swings right around the top as Lyons peppers away at the bottom. Rusty leads that lap. 24 car field for 35 laps. Pays 5,000 to win. And Lyons has just seen a thunderbolt go by in the form of Jamie Veal. Traffic right ahead of your leader, Rusty Hickman. Which way will they go as Lyons? They're 3 wide for the lead of the Bull. Veal, look at Murcott through. Lyons leads. Oh my, what a race. David Murcott puts it to the race lead. 10 down, 25 to run this time by the main street, and Murcott leads. Jock Goodyear right ahead of your race leader. Lyons trying to swing to the outside. He's second. Third is Rusty. Fourth is Veal. Here comes J-Mac. The Monty Motorsports WA 17 is on the charge on the top. Murcott's your leader. Got the first back marker between he and second place Lyons. Then it's Rusty, followed by Veal. And J-Mac runs that top groove like a boss. Murcott slips out of the groove. Just gave up a little ground. How good is that battle? Second, third, fourth, fifth. It is an epic duel for Max's race. Fitting of the champion that he is. Now Rusty's clear of the back marker. Look at them 3 wide. Lyons, Veal in the middle, and J-Mac on top. Then it's Marcus Dumesny, Sam Walsh, Tim Hutchins, Corey McCullough. Boy, Sam Walsh with a decisive move. Meanwhile, back at the ranch with 20 to run, Murcott is out of there. Still Rusty and Veal go wheel to wheel for second. Then it's James McFadden in fourth. Back to Lyons, Sam Walsh, Marcus Dumesny. Then it's Tim Hutchins, Corey McCullough, Johnny V, Grant Anderson, Luke Walker, Kerry Madsen. Murcott's your leader. The mainline Dynalog dynamometers V88. Matt Eastham owned and tuned. Murcott's doing a superb job as now McFadden carves his way to second. Banging the wall down for much of this race, and he's finally clear in second. Veal is trying to come with him in third. Then it's Rusty in fourth. Fifth is Lyons. Sixth is Sam Walsh. Seventh is Marcus. Go back to turn one. Here comes that black and yellow Monty Motorsports 17 with 15 to run this time. David Murcott. He's on the main straight, deep in turn one. McFadden still upstairs. Veal is not done with yet. The SWI Racing 35 is in third. Rusty's fourth. Sam Walsh fifth. Sixth is Stephen Lyons. Can David Murcott outrun a stout field here at SunGold Stadium for Max's race? He's on the main straight with 13 to run. McFadden, he is way upstairs. The groove is narrow, it's skinny, but James McFadden is upstairs and trying to reel in David Murcott. Veal is third, but half a straightaway in arrears in the 35. Fourth is Rusty Hickman. Fifth is Sam Walsh. All eyes on that 88. He needs to be good in traffic. He's preferred the bottom in the 88. He's in turn two, trying to get by the General. But here comes J-Mac. He's closed the distance. We're 25 in, 10 to run. What a great race here at SunGold Stadium. As J-Mac's working the cushion, rim riding his way around SunGold Stadium, trying to go to the lead for the first time in the race. Oh, he picks up the front end. Keeps the car under him. Oh, he gets into the tail of your race leader. Murcott will know he's there. At least he'll know somebody's there. And I'm pretty confident he'll know it's the 17 right now as he blows by on the outside. We've got ourselves a new race leader. With 7 laps to run, James McFadden has charged his way to the lead. David Murcott trying to run with him. Off turn 4, McFadden, a little wisp of smoke coming from the Monty Motorsports 17 as Murcott puts it to him. David Murcott's not done with yet. Veal is still strong in third. Fourth is Rusty Hickman. Fifth is Sam Walsh. But everybody at SunGold Stadium tonight is watching the race for the lead. They motor past the Southwest Conveyancing Grandstand one more time. J-Mac inside of 5 to run. Murcott will not go away as J-Mac gets the wall. Gives up the lead to Murcott. We stay green. There's 3 laps to run now for your race leader. Murcott goes back to the point. David Murcott grabs a tear off down the back chute into 3. J-Mac's gone back to the cushion. Oh boy, has he got a right rear going down? I don't know how he's holding on in second, but the white flag is about to come out for Chittick's Bakery as we celebrate the career of Max Dumesny, the living legend of World Sprint Car Racing here at SunGold Stadium. Into 3 and out of 4 for the final time. David Murcott will win. James McFadden, great drive for second. Third home will be Jamie Veal. Fourth is Rusty Hickman. Fifth is Sam Walsh. Stephen Lyons will finish in 6th. From Sutherland, Hutchins, Kerry Madsen, Marcus and Grant Anderson. Are you kidding me, Warrnambool? 35 laps non-stop here at the Bull for Max's race. Can I have some noise for your feature race winner in the V88, David Murray?